So we decided we want to film some of our wedding planning process.
TC's probably gonna be like this for a little bit because he does this when I'm in school on the Zoom.
Wondering who we're talking to?
Yeah. He doesn't understand that we're talking to the camera.
So do you just want to talk about the places that we visited?
Sure. The first place was Gabrella Manor, and I thought that was going to be the place, like, you know.
Yeah, I think we both probably thought that was going to be the place before and after we visited.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it, you know, I had imagined that covered ceremony space. TC, come here. It's okay. Here, lay down. It's okay.
Yeah, that covered ceremony space was really nice with all the greenery growing on it and everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much like what I had imagined, so that was kind of hard to like let go of that.
Yeah, but my mom hated the patchy grass, though. I remember that really bugged her, along with the interstate noise.
Mm-hmm.
But
and it's
literally
loud.
Right off the interstate.
Yeah, it was pretty loud, and I mean, when you think about the band and everything, you wouldn't really be able to hear it, but that was
just the ceremony. Mm-hmm. That would be the only time.
But they do provide audio AV for the ceremony because of the interstate, right?
Yeah. I mean, it made up for it a little bit, but... And the tent area was a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was a lot wider than I thought it would be, which is pretty cool. I wish we could have seen it with the wall gone, but... I mean, I think it was good for what it was.
Yeah, definitely. I liked it more than I thought I would. And then the inside had some cool aspects to it, some cool little features, but...
I mean, it was kind of like a Spanish kind of vibe, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, there's like really, it was like kind of, I don't know, is that stucco or whatever?
I don't know if it was stucco, but probably the best part of it was the courtyard was beautiful, and it has like a rounded front entrance and a red door, which she loves.
Yes, I love the red door. I've always loved red doors. So I want to have a red door in our house.
We'll see.
But yeah, it had
and
like
two balconies. One that had a staircase that came down into the courtyard that was beautiful, and just little detail in all of the tiles and everything like that. A beautiful stained glass of a ship.
Mm-hmm. That's where we had thought that maybe we would have our like backup rain ceremony if we could.
It was probably too small.
Caroline said too small. I said that we could probably make it work, but
it depends on how many people end up coming and getting invited.
Yeah, that's true. So, but yeah, so the thing that made me really love it was the courtyard, but then we talked about it, and like besides maybe the cocktail hour, people probably wouldn't really utilize the courtyard. So if that was our main reason for picking it, that kind of seemed like a bad main reason.
Yeah, and the bridal suite didn't have any furniture in it. Pretty much.
Yeah,
that was really weird.
Like one maybe like couch kind of, or like chair. It wasn't even a couch. It was
like a
long chair,
lounge chair, whatever. Yeah.
It was interesting, and then they had like a really serious manly other room. That was like poker table and stuff. So it wasn't.
I mean, which is fine, but just the whole vibe upstairs was a little
different.
Yeah. And at the time, I was concerned that there were only 2 bathrooms downstairs around the party area, but that was pretty much the same for just, I guess, the kind of places that we're looking.
I really liked it. Like, if I had my checkbook that day, I probably would have signed it.
Well, I would have said let's wait and think about it first, but we definitely thought that was probably going to be the place. And also one other detail. In the great room, the ceiling was lined with logs. So that was another cool feature as well. And they had this big window that looked out onto the courtyard, and the cake sits there. But that window had a crack in it, and that really bugged my mom.
Mm-hmm. I did like, off of the bridal suite, they had a private balcony that overlooked the tented area, and that's where we would like have our first dinner together. and that was super. It was very like New Orleans feeling.
Yeah, in a way. I hadn't thought that, but now that you say that, yeah.
I guess just
but I really
like
liked that it overlooked the other area.
For sure, and they had like the creeping whatever.
Yeah, the creeping fig.
Fig, that's what it was. They had that growing all over the side of it, which was just beautiful.
Yeah, and it had an arch cut out that looked over onto the courtyard.
Yeah, that was, I could like picture us.
Yeah, just the little details of it are really kind of what drew us to it, right?
For sure. And it just, I guess, also like the excitement of it being the first place of us looking. Like, I really think that's what made me really excited about everything.
And I feel like even before we went, we thought that was probably going to be the place.
Yeah.
So that kind of influences it too. But it was very beautiful, and we were seeing it in January. So
it just shows you how beautiful it is, yeah.
Okay, so then the next place was Vulcan.
Which was also kind of special to us because when we first started dating, I had this apartment downtown, and we could see Vulcan from the rooftop, which where we ate a lot and spent a lot of time up on that rooftop. And so, like, the first 4th of July we were together, we watched fireworks that they do every year at Vulcan, and it was just...
Yeah, perfect view, and we saw it every night. Yeah.
So that's kind of what
it overlooks the city, and it's beautiful up there, but it just wasn't right for our wedding.
Yeah, it's just a little too open, like physically and like to the public. The park is open until 10, and you reserve your ceremony space on like the back end of the park, so like people could still like walk up
and be right next to it, basically.
I mean, she said that like they preface them when they walk in the park. They have like an attendant saying like there's a wedding, please be respectful.
And I'm sure most people are very respectful and probably don't even walk up that far, but people also get nosy,
and I just feel like if they saw us 2 brides, they would definitely be nosy. 2 brides in 2 dresses. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna invite bystanders if you do it in a public place.
Yeah.
You know, especially in Alabama. If it was in New York, it would be a different thing, you know. So that kind of went through me off, and like the backup plan was kind of like inside, I guess, or I think you could have a tent, but the inside space was...
No, we wouldn't use the inside space, except the inside space was connected to a pretty little patio area that was kind of in the woods, and I really liked that area.
That's one of my favorite area, to be honest.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
So
I mean, I would love to have it looking out over the city, but just...
the
flow
like,
wasn't quite right, and I don't know, I know people coming in really bothered you. And at the time, so outside you don't get any table or chairs. At the time I thought that would add up really quickly, having to rent the table and chairs, but then I realized we wouldn't have to get all the lounge furniture and stuff like that I've seen people get, but still just the basics add up, I guess. I don't even know how much they are. Because all the other venues pretty much that we looked at came with them.
Yeah. So although the Vulcan was a much lower price point than the rest of the venues we're looking at.
It was, but not after you like add in the other areas and.
For sure, it just didn't seem like it was gonna work, and we kind of knew that like right away. But we still both wanted to go look at it. So I'm glad that we did, and we got to go up to the top.
Did too, yeah.
At the end, we got to go to the top of the Vulcan statue and look out, and that was cool. I'd never done that before. So.
Yeah, it was rushed because I had to get back to work, but I'm glad that we did go up there.
So yeah, and then we were supposed to go see the Rucker House that same day.
Oh yeah.
But a pipe burst because it's like over 100-year-old house, and we had seen this a lot. I drive past it all the time for school, and it's kind of like a pretty well-known venue, I would say, right?
I guess it's been around a while, I think, and is very seen. You know, people drive past it, and
it's very distinctive. You know, it's a big round house on the hill in downtown Birmingham. Yeah,
it was right down the street from where we used to live, and I'm really glad we visited it. I've always wanted to see inside of it, and I was curious. It was cool. We went right before sunset, and so we got to see sunset in this beautiful room that was covered with windows around the city lookout, and it was just beautiful at sunset.
It was
That
orange
it was,
and pink.
yeah.
It was gorgeous. She like had us sit in there a little bit longer and talk while the sun was going down, so we could enjoy it as long as possible, which I love. You know, like you gotta appreciate the moments when you can.
Yeah,
So.
it was so cool. It was so beautiful. We said we wish we could have our rehearsal dinner there. She kept talking about having rehearsal dinners and the packages that you can get for that, but I was thinking it would be nice.
In an ideal world, we would have a rehearsal dinner there. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it would be perfect for a rehearsal dinner.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Like,
so that room was the best part. The porches.
The balcony off of that room was awesome too.
Well, yeah, both the wraparound porches were great too, but just the whole place was there wasn't a good space for everybody to be together. Really, the backyard was tiny. There wasn't
like
really
the
a
size
good
of our
place
room.
for the smaller.
Yeah, I mean it was.
Yeah, and that's like the ceremony area, which I mean it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really a spot for a band. Definitely not a big band. They did have the back tented area that you could rent for a lot more.
Yeah, it was like $2,000 more.
But and then that's just so far away from the bathrooms, and also there's only one bathroom on the bottom level where the main stuff would be.
But yeah, so I really liked it, and it could be fun for something else.
It was just more spread out, which is the opposite of what I want. But it was really cool, and I'm glad we saw it. The bar area was cool, although the location of it wasn't great.
Yeah, it was like around the corner, so like, it was kind of inconvenient.
In the
to
far
get to.
corner. Well, that was only the bar for like the upstairs part.
I understand, but still.
And then the Sonnet House.
Yes.
So we originally didn't even really look into it that much because it was farther away than we wanted and wasn't maybe necessarily the vibe we were thinking at first. But
to me, it looked like a church, and I am anti-church. I did not want anything to do with it, really, to be honest. I thought, like...
I didn't think it looked that churchy. I just kind of thought it looked like a pretty southern home, but...
Which it is. But you can also tell that it was like, it has an addition, like a whole level is an addition, and you can tell.
What do you mean?
Like, just, it kind of looks a little mismatched.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Oh, before she even said that, I knew it.
Oh, okay. So my mom went with us to visit the Sonnet House.
And she loved it. I heard her say like 5 times, "Oh, I could just live out here."
Yeah, and well, she loved it even before we went too. She was pro Sonnet House from the beginning, I'd say.
Just from her online research? Or?
I think so. I think she just really liked the look of it and everything. Bridal suite was much, much better, and just the upstairs before getting ready areas in general were a lot better and,
more cozy.
And nicer and modern. And yeah, I could see us actually getting ready there and hanging out and relaxing. And
I thought so too. It was a really nice layout up there too. It wasn't like too, like, you know, all of the things were kind of like either adjacent or across from each other. So and then the downstairs is like, so she said usually they put like the cake in the front room, but I don't know if we would necessarily do that because we're not necessarily considering using the front of the house as much.
Just really kind of picture like having our games out there. And one negative was there's not really a great spot for the band.
Yeah.
It'll have to be figured out.
Especially if we end up going with a big band, which is what we're looking at.
And another con is just the rain plan. The rain plan for the Sonnet House is what they call the chapel. But she hates it.
Yeah. I can't stand it.
I mean, I feel like we could make it look pretty, but I definitely would not want to have the ceremony and reception in there.
It's a big box. I mean, I wish we would have opened all of the doors.
Yeah, it's nice that it has doors that open up onto the courtyard.
Yeah, I really wish we would have done that so I could feel it like that, because maybe it would be better, but like, I mean, it wasn't great, but we probably won't really use it. And hopefully,
the event coordinator that we'd be working with, she was definitely a big selling point for sure.
She's been so communicative and so sweet. And we've sent like a couple of emails already.
Oh, we've already asked a ton of questions, but they still had a pretty ceremony area. We think we liked the ceremony area at Gabrella more, just with the ivy growing, but it's still a nice
stone patio.
Stone that with a fireplace.
The pathway, there's like a stone pathway too, and that goes directly from the house down like a couple of nice big steps. I liked those steps, like they're nice and flat and big
and wide. I like that. Helps with the flow of everything.
So then you walk down that right to the ceremony space, and I thought that would just be so easy and nice, because like Gabrella, like, I mean, I love the staircase, but I just didn't know for sure about like all the time it would take to come down the staircase. I just like that it's gonna be like the doors open and we go straight down,
Yeah.
So I think that was another pro. It's nice because it's kind of like the backyard is all open and flat. I mean, it's got a slight grade to it, but it's just kind of big and open, and there's like a woods behind it, and there's grass, but then it comes up, there's like, I guess 50 feet around the house, there's like a stone patio.
Also at Sonnet House, we get to bring our own alcohol, kind of pick whatever we want, so that's definitely a bonus.
And we get to keep the extra.
And the extra food.
Yeah.
That was a big bonus too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, because I mean, it's all gonna be stuff that we like. I'll have to make a video about all the food that we choose.
Oh, yeah. And then we went 2 more places?
Yeah, and then on a Saturday, we went to go see some of the houses downtown that we've always wanted to look at.
Donnelly House was the first stop. We liked it more than we expected.
It was
the
gorgeous.
First thing we noticed probably was a beautiful white marble, Alabama marble floors. Those were very pretty. A huge con, though, was they only had 1 bathroom on the main level. And, like, the part of the house that you use is the front of the house, but then the part of the outside that you use is the backyard. So that was just kind of a little more separate than ideal in my mind.
And you go out like a side door into like the driveway to get to the backyard.
They did have 2 really pretty bars back there, and it was nice that they had a ceremony area, but it was separate. It was across the alley.
I kind of liked it because it was the gazebo and like Gilmore Girls gazebo, but
yeah,
I kind of thought about that when we were there.
Also, getting those steps to the up there were super steep. Then they had kind of 2 separate, together but separate backyard areas, hedges, which I really liked. And there would have been a spot for the games and everything. But it just was, I don't know, I guess just all the concrete, maybe.
Yeah,
I didn't
it was a lot of concrete.
Looking at the house greenery from the back wasn't very pretty.
The front is
of the house
grand.
was beautiful.
And had this tree. They had some pictures with this tree in the front that's just like this old, big, beautiful tree. And I was like, ooh. It's just, I didn't think that it was really the kind of vibe. It was more, I don't know, less greenery.
Yeah, definitely. I hadn't been able to place it, but yeah, that's definitely part of it for sure. But I'm glad we went again. We liked it more than we expected. And then kind of the same thing with the next one that we went to. So we walked over to the clubhouse on Highland, and at first we thought we got stood up for our tour, and we were about to go, but finally he comes out. He lives there, we realized, and we think maybe he had slept in or something, but we're glad he woke up and came down and showed us around. He ended up being awesome, and we were pretty impressed with it. We loved the front porch. It was so wide, and just the tile on it was beautiful, a pretty green shade, right? And
it was gorgeous the way that it was all done. And then they had a part that used to be the porch that like had these glass doors that was like the bar area.
Yeah, the bar room was beautiful because it got so much natural light, and it was great during the day.
And you could see like they had the lights on like the outside of the porch too, and you could just tell that would be so pretty at night. And it kind of had like a flat spot too where we could maybe play the games or do the ceremony.
Yeah, we were really thinking about it there when we first left, trying to figure out how we could make it work and everything.
I really liked it, and like the location, it's just like perfectly downtown basically. Like
and the inside was so nice and open. He said the people that built it were partiers and built it as a party house, but it was just so open, the parts that we would be using. It was pretty dark. Felt kind of dark with all the really dark wood. One room wasn't.
And then the upstairs was cool because it had like two separate staircases that like went together, so like it would be kind of cute for us to like come down each staircase and then grab hands or whatever and then go down together. I thought I like immediately imagined that,
like being introduced or like walking down the aisle type thing.
Either or both. But that was kind of the thing. The problem with that one though was that they didn't have a designated like ceremony space. There's a couple of options.
That was like the main thing
because we really want to get married outside. That's like that's my like number one thing that I really, really want. But the outside options weren't that great. It was either like in the backyard, the backyard didn't really have much going for it.
It was just all concrete, basically.
It looked like, just like a parking spot. Yeah. There wasn't anything great. I mean, it had some lights, but the front was like where we were like, this is awesome.
There really wasn't a ceremony spot. But there was one last thing. There was a really pretty walking path from the front of the house to the back that had ferns growing on the side, and I could just see some really pretty pictures being taken there. And then later I did see really pretty pictures that were taken there.
Yeah. It was a really cool place. I really did like it, and the guy Bob was super cool. I liked his whole vibe about everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, loved him. So
we thought about it,
for a while. It was really down to Gabriella and Sonnet House. Made pro-con list. Asked hundreds of questions, slept on it, thought about it, pretty much had our mind made up for a while. So we decided
we're going to get married at the Sonnet House.
And we're about ready to sign the papers.
I'm so excited.
And you don't need to clip it.
Well, I mean, we don't even like really page through it, right?
I guess we already read it really well a bunch of times.
So yeah,
we sent back a bunch of corrections. Oh, yours is so pretty. Can I do it like that?
Yeah.
Or does it need to be fancier?
I mean, it's signs, so very cursive, but
surely that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're doing this the slowest way possible.
Because it was cute, us going back and forth on every page, and then you just started.
Why was it cute?
We were signing each page together.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you already ruined it. You might as well finish it.
What else is new?
I know, right?
Just trying to hope it doesn't rain, but not too hard, because it probably will.
I'm planning for rain, just to get my hopes up. Although I looked at the Dark Sky app, and it really got my hopes up. It said only a 7% chance, and it was going to be 78 degrees, which would just be perfect.
And we're a year and how long away?
But we will see, because it's Alabama, and it goes through 4 seasons in one day sometimes.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. I got these checks for us. They have both of our names on them, because we had to go to 3 weddings. I was gonna say last year, but last year was coronavirus year. So
The start.
Yeah. We went to 3 weddings in October of 2019. It's pretty fun. Even then, we knew we were going to get married, so we were kind of looking at things that we'd want to take to ours. I saw one of our friends had this Birmingham Magic City sign behind their cake, and I love it so much. I really wish we could have it. I looked at it, and they had a sale. They still have a sale. It's going on until Sunday.
I keep seeing too.
So I got these checks for going to weddings, but now we get to use them for our wedding. Isn't that funny?
It says print.
Oh, no.
Read directions.
I was looking at this one.
Do we need to reprint it?
No. Remember Taylor Dozy? Just put a strike through and initial it. Oh wait, maybe I need to date the initial too. Putting my last signature. Should we show our signatures? That's where I messed up. Started to sign on that line. I got too excited.
Bye-bye money. Cheers.
Cheers. This is Crooked Stave Raspberry Origins. We love Crooked Stave. Raspberry isn't usually my favorite.
These are some Piggly Wiggly finds.
Raspberry isn't usually my favorite sour beer flavor, but I really enjoy this one. I remember
It's pretty sour.
Yeah. I didn't know if you liked it because it's aged in oak barrels.
I like aged.
But sometimes you
in
get
oak barrels.
But I guess if it's like a different liquor.
Okay, well this isn't our beer review blog, so let's wrap up a couple more things. First of all, I was gonna say my ring got here this week, but
She's not used to wearing it yet.
I've gotten used to it. I just didn't put it back on today.
It's
but
gorgeous.
my hands are ugly, but my ring is beautiful and I love it. Thank you. And I showed it to my mom today. I've been a little nervous to tell her that I picked out a ring because I thought she would be kind of opinionated, and she's been looking at a bunch and sending some to me and stuff, but she said she loved it from pictures and said that she was doing the crying emoji, so and that she thought it was perfect, so
I think it is
not
too.
that matters, but I'm glad that she likes it.
Yeah, I'm glad that she likes it too.
I love it, but I love it with the leaves, and I just love leaves, and
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
And the band that came with it looks really pretty too.
I love it so much. So our next couple of steps, or what we're doing next, we have started doing band research. We really want to get our band booked soon. A number have already told me that they're booked on our date. We have a couple really great options
15 months out.
Yeah,
and
once we send in our contract, I have a bunch of questions to ask related to the band, and then we're gonna get them booked, and we can hopefully get them on a stage and have a big band. But we'll have to figure out a lot of logistics with that and hope that it works, but if not, we'll get a smaller one and it'll be great too.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they said that they're used to 6 to 7, I mean, I know
I just have my heart set on having them lifted up some.
And just like being us, we used to go to a lot of live shows, and so just like that aspect of it where they're a little bit higher, you know, it does add something.
And you can just actually see them too. But it'll be great no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like our next big thing, because like a lot of the other things we are going to do in our planning meeting.
Oh, I'm going to be very prepared for that.
I know.
I'm going to have like I'm going to be asking a bunch of questions before that too. Yeah, I need to have like a good plan in my head before.
Yeah, because we want to have some games, and we want to have a photo booth, and maybe a caricaturist.
I really want that, but we'll see.
Yeah, and the band, and
big band,
specialty cocktails.
Yeah.
Maybe a queso fountain. I really want that.
Maybe transportation, maybe an ice cream cart. We have lots of dreams. We'll see what our budget allows for. Not all of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to be making some decisions, but
it's good to dream.
Yeah, I'm excited about it all. We're going to go to our first cake tasting on Saturday. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll film a little bit for that.
Yeah.
We'll see what we feel like.
Sounds good.
But I also found this cookie dough cake that I'm like pumped about, because this is what I had dreamed about, but I didn't think it would actually be a thing. Then I found somebody in our city,
Alabama, yeah,
that does it. Makes cookie dough cakes and like layers with cookies, and they look awesome. and I really hope they taste awesome, and I really want to do that. Her mom is very opposed to a non-traditional cake, it sounds like. But
Yeah, she's been giving me a bunch of grief. About to sign a fat check. The Sonnet House. And I just think that's such a pretty name, too. 4/30/22. I haven't had to spell out this much in cursive in a while.
or probably that much money ever on a check.
I've never written a check this big. I've never written a check a quarter this big. Well, a quarter for rent.
And the Sonnet House is owned by a gay couple, so that's a little plus, too.
Not that it's a deciding factor, but that it would be really awesome to support an LGBT-owned business in Birmingham.
Good to support. There's not that many.
No, there's really not.
Ready to send off to the venue to book it.
I'm so excited.
Woo! Taking us a bit, but it's a big decision.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest decision
Yeah.
besides actually getting married.
Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours.